Bet your booty I'm reviewing a game right now, and what game am I reviewing? Gears of War 3, of course. This game is amazing, like end of story amazing, the campaign amazing, the multiplayer so much fun, so good, so well done, except for the sawed-off shotgun. You know you're taking advantage of that. Anyways, we're gonna get the ball rolling and just talk about the campaign. The story was amazing. I mean, it's such a great story. I'm gonna say amazing a lot, but it was such a great story. It brought such an awesome just like closure to the whole thing, and even left a couple things open, so like I feel like they could continue with Gears of War maybe, but maybe they can, you know, kind of do like a prequel, or they could do some spin-off. Like I totally wouldn't be against that. The story though was just super amazing. I mean, they went all out for the story in Gears of War 3, because if you remember Gears of War 1, the story was just non-existent, kind of there, you know, like you're fighting the Locust in the story. And then Gears of War 2 had a little bit of story and kind of explained what was going on with some of the characters, but it's nothing compared to what the story is in Gears of War 3. So how does this game play, you might ask? Well, if any of you are familiar with Gears of War, you definitely, it's a third-person shooter, you definitely have to take cover, and especially if you're playing like insane or hardcore, you know, in the campaign, you definitely have to cover yourself, and you definitely have to pick and choose when you're going to be hopping over your cover or leaning out of your cover to shoot your gun. So it's definitely the same old thing as the first and second one. I mean, not a whole lot changed. Correct me if I'm wrong though, I did notice, and maybe I'm crazy, I really, you know, should check this out before I say it, but wasn't it in the first Gears of War and the second one, whenever you wanted to pick up an item, or whenever you wanted to revive somebody, all you had to do was just run by, hit X, end of story. I notice that in Gears of War 3 you had to hold X down, which is understandable because sometimes you just don't want to pick up certain weapons, you want to keep what you have. But it proved to be sort of annoying when I was in a hurry and I just needed to grab a gun because I was all out of ammo for another gun I had and just couldn't find any extra ammo. But that is just like it, that really wasn't a huge issue because but Gears of War 3 definitely was not that frustrating game where you'd go through a mass of enemies and you just didn't feel like you could get through it, or if you know, were just having a hard time like a boss battle, like you didn't have to sit there and rub the top of your head clockwise, rub your tummy counterclockwise, and stomp your left foot, kind of like how the wrong battle was in Gears of War 1. That was super frustrating, but no, it just didn't feel like you got stuck or anything was frustrating. And by the time you got to Act 3 and understood what was going on, like it was a game that I definitely couldn't stop myself from playing once I got to that midway point, and it was just, I sat down and finished Act 3, Act 4, and Act 5 all in a matter of hours in one night because I could not stop myself. This game is just that good. They did just such a good job with this game. The characters are much more fleshed out, and you definitely feel for all their situations in this huge predicament that they're in with the Locust and the Lambent and all that stuff. But yeah, it's definitely a game. Gears of War 3, you can definitely just go ahead and not have any previous experience. Gears of War 1 or Gears of War 2, of course, you're gonna have a hard time if you haven't had any experience with third-person shooters. It's definitely something you get used to, but it definitely is a game where they even go out of their way to explain what's been going on in the previous two, that you can just sit down and play just Gears of War 3, and that, I think, is just an amazingly good idea. Next on the list is multiplayer, which is stupid, insane, addicting, just awesome. Like, it's not fleshed out like, you know, a Battlefield or a Call of Duty. You don't have a plethora of guns to choose from. But it's just like, I don't know, they do it right. Of course you have like your versus and team deathmatch and various different modes. Then you have the ever famous Horde mode, where you are the cog battling off waves and waves of Lambent and Locust, the enemies. And you have Beast mode, which is you are the Locust and the Lambent and you're trying to take out the cogs. And you go through kind of like a same thing, you know, like different waves. And it's just, Beast mode is such a bummer because every time I try to play online, not many people are playing it, so I can never find a match. But it's such an awesome mode, and I feel like people really shouldn't look over it because it's a lot of fun, especially when you unlock all the Lambent and all the Locusts and you can be the Berserker. I mean, being able to smash and destroy everything is just awesome. It just doesn't feel like they're ever going to ignore the multiplayer either, because they've been doing events like every weekend. There's an event going on. There was the Big Head event, which, you know, you have like this huge head and this little body and this little voice. It's so funny to be playing like that. There was the Torque Bow Tag, which, you know, I was pretty okay at, but can be very hard. It's just cool. It just feels like they're doing something with the game, and you can just log on every weekend, and there's just some cool little event that'll just keep you interested in wanting to play the multiplayer. And definitely just, there's DLC coming out next month. I mean, and it's going to be Horde exclusive, and it's going to be all just fixated on that mode, which is an awesome fun mode. I mean, yeah, it's, you sit there for a couple hours trying to fight through the waves, and sometimes people just start leaving, but it's such an awesome mode. Now granted, there's only 5 weapons, like I said, that you can choose from. You can unlock weapon skins to kind of personalize your weapon. You can also buy them. I'm guilty of that. I have bought a weapon skin. It's the flower one, the purple with the pink flower, because, you know, I'm a girl. What else am I supposed to do? You can also choose which character you like to play as, and as you progress with different different challenges that you tackle down, you know, get to a certain level, you do unlock more characters that you can be. So whenever you're playing as, you know, the Locust and the Lambent, you can pick and choose, you know, which you would like to show up as if you're on that side. And of course the same thing with the humans and the cogs. Of course I play as Anya because, again, I'm a girl. What do you want from me? So all in all, I mean, this game is just awesome. And I mean, if I were to sit here and say there's 10 stars, how many stars would I give it? I would definitely give it 9 out of 10 stars. Like, of course, there, you know, like the campaign at the beginning is kind of slow, and for some reason it feels like you play the first act twice in a row because you're seeing it from 2 different points of view. And then also, multiplayer is actually pretty balanced except for the sawed-off shotgun. I've only run into that issue a handful of times, but there have been other people that it's just like, it makes them not want to play the multiplayer because people are taking advantage of the weapon. But yeah, it's an all-around great game. If you're into third-person shooters or you're wanting to give third-person shooters a try, definitely sit down and play Gears of War 3, because I think Gears of War 3 is that perfect introduction to third-person shooters. But yeah, that's my review, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's kind of quick and short, but you know, I mean, all I'm gonna sit here and say is this game is awesome. So if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and stay updated and check out all my other videos. If you enjoyed the review and agree that Gears of War 3 is amazing, make sure to give me a thumbs up, and go ahead and leave your thoughts about Gears of War 3 down in the comments, because I love chatting it up with everybody and seeing what their thoughts are on certain video games. So what did you think about Gears of War 3? Did you like it or did you hate it? And like, what do you think about the multiplayer and just everything? But no story spoilers. Don't ruin it for everybody, or I'm gonna have to delete the comment, because just there's some points in that campaign and that story that are just amazing, and it shouldn't be ruined for anybody who wants to experience it. So I will catch you guys later.